everybody. I was going to use my chat show on Opera, but Opera was not cooperating. So I switched over to Edge, and it works perfectly. So I'm going to keep on using Edge. And so I switched over to Edge for my store. And yes, I'm still working on my store. They added some new tools and features, and I'm still integrating those because things change every day. As far as technology and everything goes. Anyway, this is Ginger's Chat Show, and it's Monday, December 2nd already. Yes, it's almost the end of the year. Um, Today we're going to talk about. Yesterday, President Biden has pardoned his son Hunter with all federal charges, and felt when he really got to investigating and looking at, discovered that a lot of it was just mostly politics through the mega lawyers and mega prosecutors and everything else. They weren't following the law. They were just doing it just to get back at the Bidens because President Biden was following the law and his son was following the law. Sure, his son made a mistake, but when you're when you're dealing with pain from a serious injury, I would imagine his pain is mostly from the car wreck that he had when he was a kid. And you're on painkillers, trying to live through that. No one does not do well when they're in pain. Okay, you can't concentrate. You can't do a number of things without really hurting yourself. And people need to start having empathy on this. We're all human, okay? Well, anyway, President Biden investigated all this, and he says, you know what? He'll pardon him because he doesn't want Trump to go after him any further. He doesn't trust the guy. I don't trust the guy. Trump sits there and whines because, oh, but he pardoned him and everything else where he didn't promise to and everything. And well, circumstances do change. And Trump should talk. Trump has broken every law in the book, and this guy needs to be held accountable. He should not be allowed to be sworn in as president, okay? In my view, Trump is a non-president elect, okay? He doesn't know how things really work, and he picks people, I swear, out of a hat to fill the federal positions. Well, especially with this FBI director nominee. I looked up who he was, this Patel guy, and he only has a law degree. I don't think he's ever set foot in court. He's never done or studied any law enforcement work. FBI's law enforcement, okay? Sure, a law degree helps, but not actual law enforcement work. And frankly, I think a person that should be FBI director, just leave Mr. Ray in there. And and leave, get somebody else that's a little bit more professional to run the DOJ. You can't have people like Patel in there because he doesn't know what he's doing. He has no experience, and a good, but I would say a good, almost 100% of the nominees that are filling the federal positions don't have any experience whatsoever. They don't know what they're doing, okay? They have not worked through the system and worked in the system. And course, obviously, we all know that Trump doesn't care. Uh, well, frankly, I think now Trump needs to be saying, if you're not going to sign this document for transition, then he should not be allowed to be president, ever. Period. And frankly, I think Trump should be president of a jail cell. He belongs in a jail cell. People were wondering why I speak out like this. People need to call it out and what it is and remind them that, hey, our country was set up for a reason. Okay, it was set up for under a number of circumstances. You have to read the history. You have to look at the reason why laws were imposed this way, especially in the terms of church and state. When I was younger, I didn't understand it that well, okay, because it wasn't explained to me that well. But when you learn prior history as to why, then you get the idea and go, yeah, it should be separated because church should not be involved in government, okay? And to set up a law. Hi, Nancy. Good seeing you. So, I think it should remain separated, church and state. Okay? I don't like other Christian nationalists and everything else. Hi, Dorothy. Good seeing you. I don't like other Christian nationalists telling me what to believe and not to believe. I go, excuse me. I go to a Presbyterian church and we're Bible based and we follow what the Bible says, but we're not overzealous about it. Okay? What does it tell a story of what happened in biblical times? Way, way back when. It's just when the civilization was just starting to flourish and starting to grow and mature, and people don't seem to understand that. Well, if you don't understand it, go to school about it. But as I was saying about President Biden, what he did, I see no problem with it, with him pardoning Hunter. He was trying to protect him. Hunter's trying to recover, and he's still recovering. And as you get older, like many of us know, when you have a serious injury like that, it'll get worse with age. It will. Like with me, when I had my horse injuries, sure it hurts. You know, you get up in the morning, you go a little bit stiff and sore. That's because you're still dealing with the injuries. And some take a long time, some don't. But when we're getting older, you don't bounce back as quickly. We all know that, right, Dorothy? So the MAGAs and everything else need to be put in their place. Now, with Congress, and then of course next month when Congress is sworn in and everything, they did lose some MAGA senators and representatives. They did lose that. And you got proper people in there that do what's right. And good majority of Congress doesn't, the new Congress that's coming in, do not like the picks that Trump did for the cabinet. And a good majority of them don't like Trump, okay? And those that are saying are flip-flopping in there, then they should have no business being in Congress at all. Because when they flip-flop, they cause problems. And McConnell should just resign. I'm glad that Gates is out of there. McConnell should resign from Congress or retire from Congress and let somebody else take over. You know, like another Democrat or independent or something like that. And also put a big squash on Project 2025. It's not going to wash. It's not going to work. Um, we need the Department of Education to um, set up rules and regulations for each school district throughout the country. Okay? And yes, they provide scholarships. They help, give information and give like smaller school districts help, the real tiny ones. Because there are, believe it or not, there are still some one-room schoolhouses operating here in the United States, especially out in the farming communities. One-room schoolhouses, they're still going. And of course, you've got bigger towns. You've got small cities, and you've got big cities and everything else. So the education system should be pretty much standardized. What I mean by that is that you want, for example, okay, let me give you an example here. Let's say you have a military family that's being transferred from one base to another, okay? Military families, on the average, are transferred every 3 years, okay? I don't know what it is now, but this is when I was growing up. So, when a kid goes from one school district, from one state, and moves to another state, another school district, either they're very far ahead in education or very far behind. So, both school districts are not alike. They're kind of on the opposite. So that's why I think there's more of a need, saying, hey, here you have to have your core subjects, and then you have your electives. Okay, core subjects mean like math, reading, science, English, that type of thing. The core subjects that they have to learn. Then you have your electives. Some of them want to specialize in more like in the STEM, math, science, that type of thing. More advanced subjects. And you have to have really good teachers for that too. Teach the kids. Because the stronger you make your country, strong, let me see, how I should rephrase this. The more the kids know, the stronger the country will be. Okay? Now, another aspect. Look at Russia. I feel sorry for the kids back there. They're being shortchanged, okay? And what Putin is doing is a big, big no-no. You don't do that to your people. You don't do that to another country. And he needs to be told that to his face. You don't do that to another country. You don't sit there and arbitrarily invade another country. Because, do you know, back in history, Ukraine has repelled Russia twice. Repelled them twice. You think Russia would learn, okay? And obviously they did not study the history of that. And the other thing I find it funny this past week too, during Thanksgiving, was North Korea had betrayed Russia by fighting for Ukraine. And I was going, whoops. Including many of the North Korean soldiers have defected to Ukraine. They want the freedom, okay? And they don't want to, and North Korea tries to control them by taking their families hostages and everything else. Well, that's not going to work either. That's going to hit back at you big time. Needs to be put in his place as well. I never liked the guy. I never liked bullies. I never liked dictators. And Trump will be put in his place. You need to be put in his place. He said, no, you work for the people in the United States, not the other way around. And people need to grow a spine and say no to what Trump is doing and tell him no. If he doesn't like the word no, tough. Now, I've watched the news special on what the country of Georgia is doing. Georgia is a separate country from Russia. It's not the state of Georgia here in the United States. There is a country called Georgia that is a separate country next door to Russia. Now, they repelled Russia a number of times. But their population is all for freedom and all for treating everybody with kindness and helping each other. And they don't like dictators either. And so there is basically a popular uprising against bully dictators for pulling these stunts. People are tired of it. They're sick and tired of it. And like I'm sick and of course like you guys, you're sick and tired of he who shall not be named either. Trump is never my president. He never will be, okay? The only presidents that I have respect for is President Biden and President Obama. And the previous presidents. They didn't pull this stunt. They had no, like, why? Even President Bush was looking at Trump cross-eyed like, what are you doing? And also, Trump has been kicked out of the President's Club. And of course, if you noticed, after the first time he left office, Trump did, he who shall not be named as I call him, he did not build a library. He did not follow any of the rules, and which is set down by the archives, National Archives. But presidents can and cannot do after office, okay? And so he doesn't belong in the President's Club at all. So it's going to be interesting in the next few months what's going to happen. Because I'm sure there's going to be a big backlash against him on all this stuff. There is now. And also the $455 billion fine that he has to pay in New York, that's a state thing. That's not federal. He think he could pardon himself in that one. He can't. It's a state issue. And he has to pay that. And also I think he should spend time in jail. Be a jailbird for a while. Anyway, I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. And I feel sorry for the guys over in the Buffalo Northeast area where you're being hit by that lake effect snow machine. Also, I watched a couple of football games. My Seahawks won. Buffalo won their game, slipping and sliding in the snow. They were having a lot of problems there in Orchard Park area, is because there was so much snow and the ground was frozen, and both players on both teams got seriously hurt. One player pulled a hamstring and tendon, and he's going to be out for a while on that one. Anyway, let me see. Let me check my calendar. minute here. Calendar. Okay, on Friday, I will see you at 1 o'clock. And hope you guys have a good rest of the week. Stay safe. And keep calling things out. Keep insisting, persisting, and pushing back. That's how you resist. And if he who shall not be named doesn't like it, tough. Remind him that he works for you. You don't work for him. He works for you. You too, Dorothy. Stay safe, okay? Love you guys. Talk to you later. And I will post this on my YouTube channel, okay? Oh, I'm up to 60 subscribers. I need more subscribers. So I will see you guys later. Love you. Bye-bye.